So, hi. Oh, Alida. Nice to see you.
Good morning.
Good
Sorry.
morning. Good morning.
Alida.
Hi, Alida. How are you?
Very well, and yourself?
Great, great, great. It's today has been really great workout since morning. Accompanying the kids. All that. All right. So we'll wait a bit for Victory, and I think before that, just like to quickly check with Alida. How's everything? I mean, I heard you had a discussion with Victory a couple of days
Yes.
ago, right? Okay.
Yes, and
Yeah.
we have another discussion this afternoon that
Okay.
will probably, that's going to probably be a bit more specific.
Okay. Okay.
But otherwise, it's going good. I'm just
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. All right. Great. So I guess just curious, anything that's kind of on your mind that you like to clarify or like to maybe get to know better at
I
this
don't
point?
think I don't think at the moment there is. No, I have a very clear schedule. I want to say I set for myself, and Victoria and I are meeting this afternoon again, I think. So that
Okay,
should
okay.
also, yeah.
All
So no,
right,
there's
nice.
nothing.
Nothing that's on your mind right now.
No,
Okay.
not that I can,
Okay.
not that I can immediately think of.
Okay, okay. All right, great. All right, so Victory, hi, good morning.
Hi everyone.
So-
Hi, good morning. Can you hear me? Good.
Okay, yes. So maybe you'd like to get started. Maybe
All right.
Yeah, thanks.
Sure. Hi, Alida.
Morning.
All right. Maybe we should start with Alida. So from what I gathered from Professor Herman, you did say you were gonna upload what you've been working on GitHub.
Yes,
I don't know if you have that yet.
I haven't uploaded yet. Sorry, yesterday was a bit chaotic. I will try and do it either today or tomorrow morning.
All right. Thanks. Also, I don't know if you have basically any updates with regards to the implementation, or basically from your trial runs and stuff. Do you think you got it perfectly now?
Not at all. Not at all.
All right.
I told Professor Herman as well that there is a very big chance that when he sees what I upload on GitHub, he's going to think I uploaded the wrong thing. So I wouldn't say I have anything perfect yet. So no.
All right. No, that's fine. Thanks. Like you said, I think we're meeting later today, so
Yes.
maybe it's a bit more in depth review. So with Shenyan, I don't know if you got any new updates from the developers. Nice.
So I think I am reaching out for some researcher friends, and I think one will be scheduled. And actually, there's this guy from an Indian researcher. I think I will reach out to see if there's potential interest. Okay.
Okay.
In terms of doing collaborations.
All right.
So that is my update. This is
Okay.
someone who basically contacted me over LinkedIn.
Oh,
and,
nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have it's like profile link or something?
Yes.
Not necessarily for review, just to see.
Right. Okay.
Nice.
So this is the. Let me share my screen a bit. Okay. But I think this is someone who.
Are you sharing your screen?
Okay, hold on a second.
Oh, okay.
You must perhaps stop sharing yours.
It's fine. It's fine. I think if I share, then. All right. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So this is someone who actually contacted me. Okay. Sahith, and I think he's. Let me see if I can get his profile. Okay. He's someone from India, an associate professor, the field, and seems like he's been quite active in.
He's from Chandigarh.
I'm sorry?
Cool. He's from Chandigarh. I've been there.
Chandigarh. Okay. You know the place?
Chandigarh, yeah. It's okay. So this is random information, but it's It's a city in the northern part of India that was designed by a French architect. So it's one of the few Indian cities that got very wide streets.
Oh, really?
At least in the central part.
Oh,
Anyway,
wow. Okay.
that's
All right.
random,
Nice.
useless information.
Okay. That's good background to know.
That's interesting. Yeah.
He looks to be a pretty active member in both IEEE and ACM. And although, I mean, he does, computer science background. The impressive things about him is that there's a lot of recommendations. Okay.
Nice.
Basically, like
Okay.
he's been very, I think, like all these people have given him recommendations of his work,
Nice.
including like, people who work at different places, like different place in the world. So I'm not yet sure how things will all add up, but I think it's going. He's fairly well connected, and
Okay.
also looks to expand his professional, I guess, network and things work. So I think I'm going to have a chat with him to see if there's anything that we can maybe work together with. Okay. Yeah, so this is the other thing is I think I'll also be reaching out to some other researcher friends in the other in the past, and still waiting for response. And I think I'll update if there's anything that comes up. Yeah.
All right.
Mhm.
Thanks, Shenyan.
Okay.
Looks like the heavyweights.
Yeah.
I'll leave that to you guys.
Well, it's I guess one perspective is if we can bring in like faculty level involvement, that might help introduce more students basically.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay. So
Oh, cool.
and and just curious on Herman's side, do you think a project like this may get some funding opportunities? Because this is one question he has asked.
So, I mean, we applied for funding earlier this year, which we didn't get. But I mean, it is something that we can apply for funding.
Okay, all right. I think that this shouldn't take too long on this, but just a quick note is that if we do find, I think, an international collaborator, like someone who's like in another university, then this potentially might make more sense, right? To apply for some kind of funds. I mean, basically like a joint research project.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but this, well, I think we have to get someone who, who's willing to work along this direction before we put any effort into this.
Yes. Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah. All right. So that's the update. So go ahead. Yeah. Victor.
Thanks, Shenyan. All right. I'll go. The guy I was talking about yesterday, he apologized for not being able to join. He said that he was busy. But the agreement was he would either be able to join today or sometime next week. But he said he was gonna sort of get back to me on that with regards to like as the day draws closer or something. So I'm guessing he's not joining today. However, I will share the video with him, the one we talked about yesterday, where we basically gave like a breakdown of the project to when how, and that can be like a reference point video for maybe like potential collaborators in the future as well. I did send Miguel an email yesterday. He suggested that we meet today. We just need to sort of confirm the time in terms of the optics, got into time and stuff like that today, but it will probably be closer to the evening.
Okay.
But once I get an update, I will definitely keep everyone posted. Now, with regards to the vast JavaScript, I saw the quote by Professor Harman just now. It's better to make progress is better than perfection, I think.
Yeah.
And I sort of told myself that, wow, if only it were that simple. But you're absolutely right. Progress is way better than. It's just that the academic way we were brought up was if you're not perfect, you don't go to the next grade. So it's like a bad habit that one needs to sort of get rid of in terms of looking for perfection. Anyways, I was playing with it. I sort of see what's happening in the code in terms of what's the client being joined, what's the server being joined. But I see a bit of a concern. Okay, I don't know if it's a concern or if I'm running the code wrong, but I don't think I'm running the code wrong, and I'll show you what I mean. So what I did first was I set I ran this code in terms of setting the gateway node, and it sort of created it here. Now, when I look at the flow, for example, this is the default code or the default test code or test script. It looks like it's still the first process it does is to try to create the gateway first.
So
And-
okay, so the port number, okay, it looks to me like your so if I'm looking at your screen which you're sharing at the moment, that looks to me like your gateway is 37700. And now when you're starting this other node, you should also give the port number 37700. You must give the port number of the gateway there. So if you try that quickly, I don't know if you can run it now.
Yeah. If I do that, I think I remember it sort of creates
it should connect to this gateway and get the run it quickly.
Oh, I
so
see
they're connected to each other, they're sending messages, and there you go.
Oh, okay. So it doesn't check first. Okay, I see. Okay, let me just
doesn't check what first.
I see. Okay.
So the port number you give is the port number of the gateway. And then what it does is it basically, I think what it does is it goes further on and sees if there's any available port numbers after that port number that it can use for its own communication. That's basically what it does.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
Basically, it tries to bind to a port. If it fails, it just tries the next one.
Oh, okay. Nice. Then a follow-up question then becomes message sending. The message sending, does that occur in the library itself? Because from what I see, for example, but just by looking at this, it looks like random value. I know that random values have been generated here, and then it's set to sort of move randomly. And but then in terms of the message sending part, is that sort of automated? It seems like it's let me just run that again, because I don't see a section that's generating the code. I mean the message, maybe basically the publish or the subscribe part.
So okay, so this is a Von peer. So there is no publish and subscribe in the Von peers. All that it is they basically do message exchanges so that they all know, so that a node knows what its neighbors are. If you regard it as, so that basically you can regard each of the peers in the system is a location in an area, and they both are calculating a Voronoi diagram. And as they move around, they're exchanging messages so that the Voronoi diagrams that each one calculates are consistent. They're the same. So there's no subscription, there's no spatial pub sub in here. There's just being connected to your neighbors in the Voronoi diagram. That's the only thing.
Okay.
And as their position changes, the Von system will basically send out updates to its neighbors. If I have that correctly, Shinyon.
That's right. I think what
So basically all of these updates are basically like a trigger from the movement, which is generated here, which is moving around. So when it moves around, update the network. Okay. But it's the same ID, right? I just want to confirm that same ID. Oh, brilliant. Okay, I think we're in business. Okay, in my head at least. It sounds easier than said and done until you actually try to execute. But the idea now is to sort of basically build on this and start doing like simple stuff. For example, making a request for okay, say ID3. What am I saying? Sorry, you have ID1, ID2, ID3. I think I wrote it down somewhere here. So create gateway, create client 1, client 2, and then both of them join the gateway. And then the idea is once they are in the gateway, then is to try to exchange messages. Just a simple or what do you call it? A simple
Basically,
point.
position updates.
Yeah, yes. Like okay, point ID3 should communicate to ID4 or something like that. And then I'm guessing by doing that, I might have to figure out the WebSocket part of the communication.
Well, what happens is this is taken care of by the underlying network layer. Okay.
Yes.
And the network layer, if you look at its interface, which you can find, I think, in the net subdirectory. Okay, if you open that, there should be like a vast _net.js. The next one, the last file in the
Vastnet,
directory.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, vastnet. See? So what this does is it actually tries to abstract the network communication. Okay. So you can look at the interface it exposes, which has things like, for example, if you go up just to the comment part, yeah, you can see that you can connect, I think, right? You can send, listen, right? You can connect and disconnect, right? And okay, what happens is you can first store a mapping between a node ID and an address. And then you can send to an array of IDs a message. Okay. So basically, the network layer provides a sort of an abstraction that allows you to communicate with other nodes simply by the node ID. Okay, but you actually do a ID to address mapping before you're actually sending something. Okay.
So it's like saying, sorry about that.
Yeah, go ahead.
So it's basically like saying we have an ID here, which is ID3.
Right.
And I want to map this ID to say local
to an
host,
address, which is a IP and port pair.
And port. Perfect.
Yeah. Right.
Wow, this is quite cool.
Okay.
It seems this is quite a comprehensive JavaScript library.
It's again, this is an abstraction. You know, it's trying to make using the network as as easy as logically possible, so that for the upper layers, the concepts then reduces from connection, disconnection, maintaining IP, all that. It just simply becomes send this to node ID. Send node ID like this message, right? And if you look at when you initialize this interface, you have to provide it with some callbacks. If you look at the callbacks that you have to provide, there is a callback. If you go up to the top, very top, there is the callback that's the constructor, the vastnet constructor. There is onReceive, onConnect, and onDisconnect. So what this does is if any time there's a message that has been received by the network, it will call the onReceive callback, okay, for it to process. So you can imagine the onReceive, you will get something like probably like a message, where it's from, right? And the message content, okay? And then if there's a node that, not a node that gets connected or disconnect, the unconnect and undisconnect are being called. Okay, so does that make sense?
Yeah. So I'm guessing then that this test is an example of the implementation.
Yes. Yeah. The test is just for the network layer. Yes.
Network layer.
That's correct.
Okay. Sweet. All right. Yeah. I think what I will do is I will sort of try to build on this in terms of just trying to create simple requests. It looks like I have to first create the mapping. So map ID3 to an IP address, or basically an address IP import,
Right.
and
right.
then try to do some sort of exchange between client 1 and client 2.
Okay. Yes.
Right. And then once that is sorted, then we can sort of start playing around the sending a message to an area, or basically specifying an area that this is who I am, this is what I am, and I want to create this type of request. And I guess that goes back to our document where we have the data formatting.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
right. That's right. Yeah.
Okay, it seems quite straightforward. I have scheduled a session with the friend of mine, the JavaScript guy. I'll try to boost. I've been basically trying to get my head around it so that when I go to him, I have very precise and specific questions.
Okay.
And the idea is, I think tomorrow is Friday. Yes, on Fridays we usually have like a session where we just try to do some coding, and when I struggle, inevitably, which usually happens, it sort of helps me out a bit in terms of direction and yeah, stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Are there any comments? I have been reading up a bit on this. I didn't do a lot of reading, just a little bit, and I was just looking at the data structure, and it sort of looks consistent with what we have in terms of the address, for example, the AOI, stuff like that. But I am still looking into this, and I will continue this as well, maybe through the weekend, and to see, because I'm noticing as well that when I reread some of these things, they make a bit more sense as well compared to the last time I read them. So yeah.
Okay. All right. So I guess any feedback from Herman so far?
No, it sounds like you've started figuring out the vast library, so that's good. That is, I was wondering, so Alida, you are busy with the kind of the spatial pub sub interface part of it. So if I understand correctly.
Yes.
So at some point
yeah.
it should be able to marry the two to each other.
In theory, yes. But
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
So what we discussed the last time, if you may just help, so the idea was we would both sort of try to figure out the code. In theory, yes, like you just said, she will figure out the spatial pub sub side, and then the forwarding side, I will try to figure that out. But then the idea is, once we sort of both have a grasp of what's going on in the vast library, then if for example, I have better understanding with the pub sub side, I can help her out. And maybe if I struggle with the forwarding side, for example, I can just give her a call. Basically the same way it used to be with the physical laboratories, where you could just ask your friends for help in the lab.
Okay.
And yeah.
Yeah, nice. I think it makes perfect sense. I mean, for you to help each other out, at least conceptually, or in terms of the program structure. That's always good to have have a sounding board or someone to discuss with. Okay, it's always good. But I mean, do specialize in one thing. Like Alida could be on the spatial pub sub implementation, and Victory on the forwarding part. But there are something commonly that probably you both have to understand, right? Like the basic structure of the current vast library. And for example, like the network layer, right? I think that is something pretty, that's going to be common and potentially relevant to both of you as you're doing implementations, right? Okay, so I guess one feedback I have is I'm not sure how much this makes sense. Maybe Victor, you have to think about. But I was just thinking perhaps trying to understand the C++ version and try to just port that to the JavaScript. Okay, that might be a potential path for you to leverage existing implementation and knowledge. Okay, because that was, as you can see, the C++ was already doing spatial PubSub at the, at the matchers level, right? And in some sense, let me put it this way. Okay, to do what we plan to do with the spatial PubSub, distributed spatial PubSub, we need to have a multi-matcher kind of architecture, right? That is one thing. And the other thing is we also need to have the forwarding approach, right? So that the basically that helps in terms of reducing the message size, and also allows arbitrary publish subscription shapes, right? To be not just local, right? But you can actually have multiple subscription of publications and of different sizes, right? And that is and the C++ implementation actually has the first part done already, okay? The multi-matcher part, that is something, that is basically on the vast SourceForge site. That shows that it's got that already. And in fact, it's got even something else. It's got load balancing also as well. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Right, but as we talked about yesterday, we don't need load balancing for now, but we do need the multi-matcher part.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, one approach could simply be look at the C++ implementation and see how it's done and try to port that to the JavaScript library. Okay, or at the minimum, use that as a reference. Try to see the basic idea and see if you can do something similar with it. Okay. And then that would be the basis for the forwarding to work. Okay, because forwarding it has to be built on top of a multi-matcher architecture, right?
Yeah.
Right. So there are this sequence of things where one has to happen before the other. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Just a quick question then for Professor Harman. At the moment, from when I look at this code, for example, the gateway is sort of the default mode when you start when you run the code, the test one pair. If I wanted to run a second iteration of the gateway, or maybe create a second gateway, can I do that by just running it again? Would it automatically create a new gateway? I don't know if you get what I mean.
Well,
if you give it sorry, I was muted. If you give it a different port number, like 38,000, then it will create a separate matcher, but it's then a separate VON network.
yes.
So what it doesn't do at the moment is have two gateways in the same VON network.
Okay.
You can think of this as creating parallel universes.
Yes.
Okay.
And
you
remember
have just
that
created two universes with different portals, essentially.
Okay.
And remember
different
that
entry points.
the peers that join, you can basically regard as your matchers.
Okay. Yes. Okay. That makes sense. Yes. Okay. Sorry,
So that final year student of mine, he's also been working with VON, and I think, or he's been looking at it, the poor guy, and he mentioned to me that he has forwarding between different matchers. He has got that working, I think. So I'm going to, there we go. Let me just see.
Nice.
Let me just see. Which one is it now? I think. Okay, so I'm gonna post the link quickly if I can find it. Otherwise, here we go. Right, I'm gonna post it here in Vast, and then you can just basically have a look over there. That might help you with getting multiple matches set up going.
All right. Thank you, sir. Is that that's in Slack, right?
I'll post it
Okay,
here in the chat.
thanks,
chat
Herman,
as well.
for this update.
Herman.
May I suggest, is it possible for Herman to maybe also schedule, for Victor to schedule a chat with this student, the last final year student, to quickly understand about what he has done so far?
That's a good idea. I'll send you his contact details.
Yeah, because if you can talk with him, maybe just for like 15 minutes, that might be tremendously helpful,
I'm thinking now, does it go to campus as well? Or
Yes, he's on
is he
campus.
working from home?
Oh,
okay.
he's on campus. I see him on Tuesdays.
Okay. I can chat with him.
Let's just say that this happened because I thought that the Miguel's Vast implementation was less integrated with Minecraft. So he started looking at it and then he realized, okay, but it's not. So there you go. That's it. I've sent you his email address.
All right. Thanks. Thank you, sir. I'll try to see if I can see him maybe tomorrow. All right. Let me just create this quickly. Okay. Yeah. So, Alida, I'm just gonna use copy and paste this, and so we have our session today. Should I send the invite link, or will you send that, Alida?
I'll send you one now.
All right. Thanks.
Cool.
Okay. So precision to follow up with developers. Professor Herman did say he was gonna have a look probably over on Friday, right?
Yep, hopefully.
For the MQTT, yeah. And Wenha is fine. I hope Wenha is doing better. Shenyan.
Okay, I think, yes, he's taking some rests.
Okay.
So, actually, I think I will be checking with him soon as well.
All right. Okay, that's the one. Video. Yep. It was just and then with student. Can I just see that? All right, I think I got it. I don't know if I missed anything. Yeah.
All right.
Looks good.
So,
Cool, yeah. Yeah, that looks
Okay.
good. And then
Alright.
Alida just upload the, okay, cool. Excellent.
Yeah.
Great.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Professor.
Okay.
Herman.
Okay,
Okay.
everyone, and
Monday.
thanks, Victory, for hosting our things. And we'll see each other on Monday then, right?
Monday.
Okay,
Yes.
all right.
Thanks,
Okay.
everyone. Enjoy the
So
weekend.
meanwhile, have a great weekend and do remember to recover. Okay. Schedule recovery as well.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Take care. Take care. Yeah. Talk on Monday then.
Bye.
All right.
So,
Bye
bye.
bye.
Okay. Yeah. Take care. Yeah. Bye bye. Bye bye.